Okay, so on some of my last videos and my live stream from Friday night, I've had folks that keep reminding me, hey, it's great we're stocking up with food, it's great we're stocking up with water, sharpening our skills, but don't forget to prepare for the grid down situation. And I keep putting this off, and I was like, I need to make a video just reminding all the things that you might consider that would be considered needs, that if you had a grid down situation, a power out situation, some items that you do want to make sure you have. So thank you to my subscribers and the folks that are viewers to reminding me and putting that out there and kind of pushing me and coaxing me to kind of put together a little list. So let's go over some things, and what I'll try to do, if I remember, is to go through my video description, and I'll put a few links, some random items for Amazon links and things through my Amazon, and that way if you're looking for ideas or you wanted to research some more, you could be able to just click the link and pull those up. So I appreciate anything that you all might get from that. So let's talk about the first things, flashlights. Okay, that's flashlights you could use for everything. We keep flashlights in our vehicles, at work, at home, in our hiking bags, in our get home bags, our bug out bags. We have flashlights of some sort, headlamps, all kinds of different lights that are battery operated, if you have some kind of a solar capability of it. But those are vital to have in a grid down situation when things are dark and blacked out, to be able to have something, a quick grab, something you can grab and gives you immediate sight. Okay, such an important factor for security as well, to know your surroundings, to know who is in your surroundings. You hear a noise, to be able to investigate the noise. So having flashlights for your home, especially in a grid down situation, super vital important. Just as important as the flashlight itself is making sure you have an ample amount of batteries on hand, right? You don't want to be able to pull up that flashlight, flip it on, and nothing. I've had that happen before. So thankfully, if you've done due diligence, you've had some backup batteries. You can open up the drawer, go to the cabinet, wherever you have. A lot of people like to have like a box, a kit, whether it's a backpack and it's got all of your blackout supplies in it, your grid down supplies, or maybe it's a tub or a tote with a lid that you can keep stacked somewhere, and that's got all of your blackout grid down supplies in one location. So that's an option that you can consider that as well. So having a device charger. Sometimes, the blackouts, the grid downs, they don't announce themselves. Your phone might be down to 10%. All of a sudden power goes out. Oh man, I don't want to go start my car up and hook it to my car charger, and it's just a pain dealing with all that, right? You could do that, but having some sort of a power bank, a charging device to be able to recharge your phone, your tablets, your devices that you're using during a blackout situation. And also, and if I remember, I'll put it in my description, having a power pack that might be even solar rechargeable. And I've got one of those. I did a little review on them because I thought it was cool. And they do work. It can take a couple days in sunlight to recharge it. But if you're in a few day or several day type of a power down, having something that can recharge via the sun can also be a game changer. So having candles, that's an easy no-brainer, right? I always tell people be super careful with candles. You don't want to accidentally have a child or somebody knock over the candle and breathing in the extra fumes and things. So just be careful when you're dealing with candles. However, if it is in a grid down situation during the summer, you probably have all your windows open anyway, right? No AC. So oil lamps is another thing. People still have oil lamps around. I remember as a child growing up, my mom always had a couple oil lamps in the house, and when we were up in Ohio and a tornado would come through or somewhere in the areas and just knock power out for a while, we would have some oil lamps to use. Propane lantern. Again, that's more maybe on your deck. Like if you're out and you're going to be doing some cooking or some activities outside, it's getting dark out, you can fire we have a Coleman propane lantern. You can fire one of those up, set it up outside, and keep that in a safe area. Glow sticks. Those little sticks, you break them, right, and they glow, and they'll usually glow for several hours from maybe make it through the night, right? So what I used to do, I'd take the kids camping, and I'd like to take a glow stick and snap it and get it all bright and colored, and I would attach it somehow to our child's belt loop or somewhere on their back, to where they're running around playing, especially if we're in a group with other people and other kids. I knew right where my child was. If it was a blue light, there's that blue light running around. I know that's my son. You know, that's my daughter out there. I could see where they're at. So if you have a grid down situation, you know, it's just a fun thing. But you could also help keep an eye if you guys happen to go outside and you're going to do some yard activities. If lighting is really low and you're concerned about keeping an eye on things, it's just another little trick, another little way to be able to keep up on everybody. Solar lights. I have some out here in my yard. First, they could offer a level of security for your home, for your yard, especially in a grid down or a power out situation where all your street lights are not working. And if it's one of those dark nights, right, you know, the clouds are blocking the moon or whatever, and your solar lights have that motion sensor, somebody walks in front of them, boom, they kick on, and you can tell from your house, oh, those lights kicked on, somebody's out here. You can take them, you can bring them indoors if you need to, set them outside during the day to charge, bring them inside and turn the switch on so where they stay on, and use them throughout the house through your evening as you're cooking or cleaning or whatever you might be doing. So solar lights are a game changer. No batteries required, right? And there's no fire or flame that might cause one of those accidents. So those are good tips for those that might be looking for some alternate ideas. Look, having matches and lighters on hand. You know, we got the candles, we got this. Oh, wait, where's the matches? Where's the lighters? So make sure you have a proper amount of matches, lighters. Remember, keep everything safe, put up away if you have children. You know, it's always good to practice safety tips and precautions for sure. So then let's move on to like cooking and things. Let's say, okay, the grid power out, grid down situation, we need to start cooking. Especially if you have stuff in the refrigerator and freezer, you may have to start cooking right away, pretty soon, right? You can start cooking some of that food and eating that first, but we need to cook. Well, if you have a propane grill, you're good to go. What about a charcoal grill? Same thing, you're good to go. You can immediately go outside on your deck, pull it out of your garage, wherever you are, and fire up your propane grill, start up your charcoal grill, make sure you have lighter fluid, make sure you've got plenty of charcoal on hand, and then for your propane, make sure you have plenty of those big 5-gallon or whatever it is, those big propane tanks. Keep some of the small ones on hand for some of your smaller propane devices. But make sure you have enough fuel. You want to keep enough for however long. I mean, if you've got room and you can store it safely, I would get as much as you can. Go ahead and have it and rotate it. Every time you use something, just pull the old to the front, put the new in the back, and just keep rotating your supplies, whether it's charcoal, propane. It's a good habit to be in. No matter how long they last, it's just a good common practice, okay? So yeah, having the extra tanks. A camping stove. If you say, hey, look, it's just me, I'm a single person, or we just don't do a lot of cooking out, we don't have a grill, we don't have a charcoal grill or a propane grill, well then get a small, like a Coleman stove, and I know other companies make them, Ozark and all these other ones. Get a small camping stove, and you can get the small canisters of propane that could go on that. Or bonus, if you have the large canisters, you can get one of those attachment hoses. So you can attach your hose right to your large tank and run it to your small camping grill, and you don't even need the small canisters. So those are tricks and other ways that you can get around things and still get to the goal that you want, and that's to be able to cook your food. And you want to make it through the grid down situation. So a camping stove would be great for somebody who doesn't have the larger cooking devices. Canned heat. It's a good backpacking trick. I keep some in my get home bag or bug out bag, whatever you want to call it. It's those little round containers. They're about yay so high, and they're round, and you can pop the top off and you can light it with a match, and it's a canned heat. Steno is a brand that I use. I know there's a lot of other brands as well for that. You can pull those up. If I remember, I'll put one on Amazon so you can see it. But it's a canned heat. So in a pinch, you can pull that out, canned heat, and you can cook right there in your kitchen. But again, just be careful, be safe with it. Wood. Having a fireplace in your home. Having a fire pit out back. Having an ample amount of firewood on hand. just for emergencies. Look, especially in the winter time, that's going to help heat. That fuel will heat your home or heat your immediate area if you're outside, to be able to have some heat and that comfort of warmth. So firewood would also be a game changer, would be huge. So that leads me into reminding you to have fire extinguishers, okay? Get a couple. Don't get just one, get a couple, because if you have a couple things going on in your home in a grid down situation and you have candles involved, you have propane things involved, you have charcoal over here, you got a fire pit, you have your fireplace, you got all these different fire units going on, and it's kind of not the norm, right? So if you've got your family running around and doing things, and it's hard to keep track of everything, and you got people cooking that's different, we've never cooked this way before, or it's very rare, so just have some fire extinguishers on hand, because the last thing you want to do in an emergency is create another emergency. You don't want to do that. You don't want to create a secondary, because now you're on your stackable events, and shtf hits the fan. I mean, you're really going to start having some problems, okay? So make sure you're safe, you have some devices to help you out, which also leads me to having a med kit on hand. Again, stackable events. Don't want to create another problem, or because you didn't have the correct tools, med kit, that you've created some more issues with you and your family. Having some meds, a burn kit, whatever you think that you might need for your personal home, medication kit, for your emergency kit, to have all that in one location together, so you could pull that out and set that out in some type of a grid down situation. If it's summertime, like right now, it's hot here in Tennessee, so having it hot, even though, yeah, we opened up the doors and the windows, and maybe like right now out here, there's no air moving on me, and it's stifling, it's humid, and if you go inside, it can be worse, and the sun's beating down on your home. Look, having some little portable fans, whether they're battery operated or like a USB one that I use, and I'll put it in my video description so you can look at it. You can plug it into your power packs for the USB, and it's portable. And if you have the solar powered charger power pack, then you could just run it right off that. Now look, we're also going to mention generators. Obviously, if you have the generators, whether it's a dual fuel or a tri-fuel, where you can run propane, gas, whatever on your generators, and you can plug fans into them, look, that's a game changer as well. Or if it's one of those more compact camping generators, right? Some of them are solar powered as well, and you could set them out during the day and recharge them and get a charge on them and run your fans at night. So there's a lot of options. If you get creative with things, you can find a lot of creative ways to generate some air movement, so you're not so stifling and working on that heat, right? Because heat exhaustion is a real thing, which leads me to make sure you're staying hydrated. Plenty of water in a grid down situation, especially in the summertime. You need ample amounts of water. You're going to drink more water in a grid down during the summer than you will normally when you have the AC running. I promise you, you're going to go through a lot more water. So plan on that. Wintertime, having like a Mr. Heater or something that you can use that's propane as well, and that you'll be able to use to have that immediate heat, something that in an emergency situation you can have some heat along with firewood or whatever else you might be utilizing, right? Having a can opener, a manual one, right? Because remember, it's a power out, it's a grid down. You can't go over to your kitchen and use your electric items and like your electric can opener, all the fancy gadgets we have. So having some of those turned into manual items. And you may need to get two, because remember, if one breaks, you got to have a backup, right? So consider manual things that you use, because if you have tons of food, well, it's going to make it hard to get into if you don't have a good can opener. You're going to have to be busting it out with a rock or a knife, right? So look, and that leads me to kind of say a bug spray. If you're going to be spending more time outside, especially in the summertime, on a grid down situation, you're going outside to get things or to cook, because it's hot inside and you're coming out, windows and doors are opening and closing, make sure you're wearing enough bug spray to keep the insects off of you, because again, you're already going to be miserable enough and you don't want to add to that misery. All right, so I hope that list can help you. I hope that gives you some ideas or encouragement to go back through and check the quality of all your items. Make sure batteries are still workable and all these things, and take the time to just go through and make your own list. Maybe some of these items don't work for you. And if you have some ideas that I have not considered, please put them in the comments to share, not just for me, but for everybody who will come back and read this at a later date. Y'all take care now, and thanks for stopping by House of Prep.